Hi guys. So today I want to talk to you about your next drawing in your 4 drawing design series. Next you're going to draw your existing conditions drawing. So I have your assignment sheet here. We're going to look over it together. And then I'm going to take and show you a few examples of what those existing conditions can look like. All right. So as we've discussed before, all of these properties are in a new development. So the developer came through and cleared out a big piece of acreage and broke the acreage up into different lots and then built houses on them. And all the houses were exactly the same in the beginning. That's why all your plot plans looked exactly the same. But now you know your customer, you've met them and you've chatted with them. And the next thing you're going to do is go out and actually look at the property. The existing conditions drawing is going to tell you everything that exists on the site. And it could be different based on what your client has already done on the property. And the other thing that existing conditions drawings includes is everything that's there as far as borrowed landscape, whether or not there are some conservation easements, if there's anything where there's a place where there's wind or a sun exposure. You want to make sure that everything that's there, maybe the customer has put a garage on the property. Maybe the customer has put in some ground cover. Maybe they've got some grass. Maybe they have a driveway. Your drawings are going to get different now because it's going to depend on what your customer is telling you is already there. And then when you go out and take the inventory of the site, you'll see what's already there. So you'll be measuring everything. And you'll be taking into account everything that's already there on the property, everything that already exists. That's what existing conditions is going to tell you. Okay, so let's look over the assignment sheet. It says all of these properties are in a new development. The land here is completely level and there is no slope to deal with. If you were drawing on a real site, the chances are that there would be some slopes that you would deal with. Slopes is how the land curves. And there would be other things that you would put into the drawing to factor what the slopes were so you could tell how steep different parts of the property are. But in this exercise, we're not going to do slope at all, so you don't have to worry about that. That keeps it a lot simpler. You've still got plenty to deal with without adding slope. So this is a nice flat piece of property. There is a view of the mountains to the west. So that's your borrowed landscape. So on that western border, you're going to have to do something to show that you have that mountain view. You want to know that that's there. That counts, right? That's that borrowed landscape we've talked about before. Some of the homeowners still have only a cleared construction site, while some others have added a ground cover to stabilize the soil. Some homeowners have put in garages and driveways, and some others have done nothing so far. For some of these customers, it's just a house on a dirt lot. And a construction site is actually dirt. It's not soil. It's dirt because they clear everything off. They build a house. There's probably rubble there. And some customers will wait it out with just that until they can hire their landscape designer to come in and fix things up for them. So you and your customer decide what is going to be on your existing conditions. And when we look at the samples, this will help make sense. So this is what you need to do. You need to take your plot plan that you've already drawn and you need to tape it down somewhere so that you can tape one of those pieces of tracing paper that I sent home to you over the plot plan. So if you haven't finished your plot plan, you need to finish your plot plan, because you can't do this next drawing or any other drawings until that plot plan is done. So you're going to tape down your plot plan on your drawing space, and then you're going to tape a piece of tracing paper over. Now you're going to want to make sure that you leave some, you're going to want to make sure that it's as straight as possible. Try to find some nice straight edge to tape things down on, so you don't want your plot plan like this and your tracing paper like this, because when you take it off, you're going to see how crooked it is. So take the time to really get things nice and even and level. So now you're going to make a new title block. And this title block is going to say existing conditions. Now, Some kids get going on their title block. You're going to have the same information in block 1, where you're going to have the address. You're going to have the same information in block 2, where you have the designer's name. But when you get to block 3, it's going to say existing conditions. And kids all the time just get cranking. And when they get here to block 3, instead of putting existing conditions, they put plot plan again. So make sure you don't make that mistake. And then you're going to have your all of your information is going to be the same as your plot plan drawing, except this. So you'll have your scale, you'll have your indicator of north. And then you're going to draw in your plot plan. So you're going to draw in the whole plot plan. So you can see here on Maria's drawing, here's her existing conditions. She drew in the house. She used the plot plan to put the house on in the exact spot. And she has a property boundary. But what all of you are going to have is this existing line of trees. Everybody on the land, everybody's drawing is going to have to put in an existing line of trees. And then you're going to indicate what your homeowner did for ground cover. So Maria's homeowner has a little bit of ground cover. And you're going to have a buried electrical line from the house. So that's one of the things that when you come out to the property and take an inventory of the property, this property they found there's a buried electrical service. This is a very common thing in some nicer developments where they'll take all the electric lines and bury them underground. And why is that important for you as a landscape designer to know? Well, you don't want your driveway to go over that, because if you ever had to get to it to fix it, that would be a problem. And you certainly wouldn't start wanting to dig a pool or something and put that over your electric lines. So somehow you have to draw your electric line from the house to the road. And anything else that your homeowner indicated to you. So Maria's homeowner, you can see, has a barn and a driveway already on the property. Here's her mountain views to the west. Now, if you would rather have a lake view or an ocean view to the west, that's fine. That's entirely up to you and your customer. It's what you find when you go out to your site. And remember, this is all, it's in your imagination, but it's with your customer that you're working with. So let's look at another existing conditions drawing. Here's Taylor's. And you can see, so at her property, here's the house that was put on exactly by taping. This is the tracing paper. It was taped over the plot plan. Here's the electrical service. That's how hers is lined up. And here's that existing line of trees all along the outside property boundary. And then these are her mountain views to the west. She indicated them a little bit differently. That's how her borrowed landscape is. Now her customer has already put on a garage and a driveway, and it has a little bit of grass. She made some dots like this to indicate grass, and here's her key here that shows what we're looking at. So this is her existing condition. See, same title block set up, but it says existing conditions instead of plot plan. And I think I have one other, where is the other one? Oh, I have another one over here that we can look at just so you can see, because now they're getting a little different, right? Unlike plot plan, now they're different because different customers have done different homeowners have done different things. So here's Malia Bates. Again, here's the house that she traced from the plot plan. That's exactly as it is. The existing line of trees. Her trees are a little bit different. Her customer looks like they put in a driveway. Here's the buried electrical line. And we can see in the key, we know that what we're looking at. So they have grass. This is grass. And the electrical service. There's her mountain views. She didn't label anything that's obvious. So she didn't put anything in there. This is the house, and I'm guessing this is the driveway. Should probably say drive. If you decide you want to letter any of these things, make sure you use guidelines. Okay, so that's your existing conditions drawing. This is not colored, but you want to do it all in pencil And then you want to flare. Make guidelines. Look at those nice guidelines. You can tell how nice her guidelines are. She didn't share top and bottom guidelines. The letters are really well spaced. Easy to look at. Easy to see. Okay, guys. Good luck.